Can bunnies be religious? Well, no, probably not. But in the novel Watership Down, author Richard Adams gives his characters, who happen to be wild rabbits, some very human-like characteristics, including language, systems of government, and a religious worldview. Throughout the story, as the rabbits face hardships, difficult decisions, and deadly enemies, they look to their religious beliefs and traditions for guidance, inspiration, and meaning. One might presume that if rabbits had a religion, it would most likely be a pagan-style mythology reminiscent of ancient Egypt, Greece, or Mesopotamia, with perhaps a rabbit god as one deity among a pantheon of other animal gods who are worshipped by their respective species. But in Watership Down, this is not the case. In fact, not only are Hazel, Fiver, and their furry friends sincere and true believers, they are also strict monotheists who have more in common with a Jewish, Christian, or Muslim worldview than that of pagan idol worshippers. The monotheism of the rabbits is expressed through three different elements of the novel: the rabbits' belief in Frith as the creator of everything, their belief in Frith as the Lord of creation who commands, helps, and protects his creatures, and their refusal to submit to anyone but Frith in their actions. These three dimensions of their monotheism give Hazel and the rabbits of his warren the courage to face a world full of dangers and establish a thriving new home on Watership Down. There is no doubt in the rabbits' minds regarding to whom they and all of the other creatures owe their existence. Frith is their creator, and the creator of everything. When Dandelion narrates the story of the blessing of El Ahraira in Chapter 6, we learn that Frith made the world and all the stars too, and that he makes the rivers flow and made all of the animals and birds. Because Frith is the only creator of the world, the rabbits know that they owe their entire existence to him alone, giving them a strong sense of gratefulness to him. In the first phase of creation, Frith made all the animals the same, including the first rabbit, El Ahraira. This proto-world was like a rabbit paradise. El Ahraira and his rabbit descendants had it so easy, though, that their population grew out of control. In order to get the rabbit population back under control, Frith decided to change many of the other animals into predators, with the cunning and the fierceness and the desire to hunt and slay and eat the children of El Ahraira. Why would Frith be so cruel? One might expect the rabbits to resent Frith for making their lives so difficult, but they understand that he didn't do it out of animosity or a desire to destroy the rabbits, but to maintain balance in his creation. Frith could have killed El Ahraira at once, but he had a mind to keep him in the world because he needed him to sport and jest and play tricks. In Frith's creation, therefore, there is an important role for rabbits, and the special gifts and nature with which he created them were meant to make it possible for the rabbits to fulfill that purpose and live as the prince with 1,000 enemies. This is a type of relationship between creatures and their God that can only exist in a monotheistic religion, when the one God is the only creator and source of all existence. The rabbits don't believe that Frith only created them in the beginning and has now abandoned them to fend for themselves in the world. They also see him as their Lord and Master, who is constantly and continually involved in their lives, commanding them, helping them, and protecting them. Early on in their creation, Frith sets the limits for the behavior of the rabbits, telling El Ahraira, "If you cannot control your people, I shall find ways to control them, so mark what I say." And declaring, "El Ahraira, your people cannot rule the world, for I will not have it so." Frith's lordship is also demonstrated by the fact that the rabbits also believe that the different situations and outcomes of the events in their lives are part of Frith's plan for them. After surviving the perils of Ephrafa and miraculously returning with all of his group to Watership Down alive, Holly expresses this appreciation for Frith's plan when he says, "Frith meant us to get back. That's the real reason why we're here." Even with regard to the black rabbit of Inlé, whom the rabbits fear more than any predator, they know that he too serves Lord Frith and does no more than his appointed task to bring about what must be. The rabbits also believe that Frith is their lord in the sense that he helps them and protects them. In their creation story, Frith gave the rabbits the ability to flee from their predators, saying, "Bottom, be strength and warning and speed forever, and save the life of your master. Be it so." In another part of Holly's account of how his group escaped from Ephrafa, he credits Frith with helping them when the train killed the rabbits who were chasing them. Lord Frith sent one of his great messengers to save us from the Ephraffan Ausla. Because their only lord is Frith, who is always present and involved in their lives, the attitudes, actions, and decisions of the rabbits are based completely on a desire to obey Frith and to show their gratefulness for his blessings and mercy. In the ultimate expression of their monotheism, Hazel and his friends are repulsed by any behavior or action they perceive to be contrary to Frith's creation, ungrateful to his blessings, or disobedient to his commands. In short, they submit only to Frith. After leaving Sandalford Warren, the first place they find real shelter and refuge is at Cowslip's Warren, where food is abundant and the rabbits seem to have attained an advanced level of culture and affluence. Their situation is reminiscent of human refugees from war-ravaged third world countries fleeing to Europe or the United States. It seems like the perfect life and an ideal place for them to settle down permanently, almost like the original paradise in which the rabbits had no enemies. Once they realize, however, that the rabbits of that warren have sacrificed their Frith-given rabbit nature, allowing themselves to be farmed and slaughtered randomly by a human in exchange for receiving delicious food and safety from natural predators, they do not hesitate to leave it and return to the dangers of homeless wandering. Fiver describes the condition of the rabbits of Cowslip's Warren with disgust, saying, "They forgot the ways of wild rabbits. They forgot El Ahraira. For what use had they for tricks and cunning, living in the enemy's warren and paying his price?" Escaping the temptation of Cowslip's Warren may seem like a great success for these servants of Frith, but standing up to and defeating the savage militarism of General Woundwort and Ephrafa is on another level and really demonstrates the kind of heroism possible through sincere belief and devotion to principles. In Strawberry's words, "The rabbits of Ephrafa do not even exhibit the decency and comradeship natural to animals, because they work to devise ways of spoiling other creatures' lives and hurting them." When Holly leads a mission to Ephrafa in order to establish friendly relations and requests that some of their females be allowed to leave Ephrafa and join Hazel's warren, General Woundwort not only denies the request, but does not allow Holly and his delegation to leave without a fight. Upon hearing this, instead of fearing the Ephraffans and avoiding any confrontation with them, Hazel decides that they must go back and help some of the does escape the oppression of that totalitarian regime. It is the same spirit of commitment to living the way Frith intended that gives them the determination to withstand General Woundwort's terrifying assault on Watership Down at the end of the novel. From their interactions with Cowslip's Warren and Ephrafa, it is clear that Hazel and his friends' devotion to obeying Frith and honoring the role for which he created rabbits is what enables them to resist both the temptation to live an unnatural life and the bullying of a group who are much stronger than them. Richard Adams probably didn't intend Watership Down to be an allegory about monotheism's positive effects on the lives and actions of believers, but that doesn't really matter. He clearly decided to give the rabbits a monotheistic religion in which they sincerely believe and from which they constantly take guidance. This monotheism plays a key role in making it possible for the characters to solve their problems and overcome challenges to successfully establish not only their new warren, but even after defeating Woundwort, to help Ephrafa correct its injustices so that the two warrens are able to cooperate and establish a new warren between them. Therefore, whether intentional or not, this novel makes a strong allegorical case for monotheism as an effective foundation upon which humans may address the problems of their own societies.